Hi everyone! Welcome once again to Valdraz. Here's a fun fact about me. I love stories about sisters. Like, I'm a huge sucker for them. If somebody comes up to me and says, presents an idea for a story, are the sisters featured prominently in the story? Are they main characters? Well, yes. Sold! You don't need to tell me anything else. Well, yeah, you kind of do. There's other elements to stories that I care about. But sister stories, they're very important to me. And here I am once again working on my OCs, Aurora and Corona, same characters as in the last video, just this time in human form. And really, technically, this is pre-Ascension Princess Aurora and Princess Corona. Um, their names before were Blue Moon and Summer Sun. Blue Moon being Aurora and Summer Sun being Corona. And it was about the time that I was started coming up with the concepts for these two characters that I kind of had the realization of just how much I care about sister stories. And I think it's really because of my own relationship with my sisters in real life. I have two younger sisters, which, doesn't exactly correlate to, there's only two of them and three of us. But I can see there's a lot of things as I look back on elements that I've incorporated into the two of them that I can see in these characters. So it's kind of fun to look at those things and see those connections that it's funny to think about just in general how much our own experience informs what we do even with when we don't intend for it to be there. Um, and again, they don't exactly correlate to me and my sisters, but I can see a lot of elements between us that, just kind of informed these characters, especially between me and my youngest sister. I can see a lot of our relationship reflected in Aurora and Corona, which is fun to look at. Um, I'm the oldest, of course, I said that before. Um, and so I have that same protective mentality that Aurora has for Corona. But then I'm also the more easygoing of us, which is more of a Corona thing. So it's kind of fun to see the, different parts of myself and different parts of my sisters kind of sprinkled into these characters. Um, Something I try to avoid doing when I'm making a lot of characters is that I don't want to put too much of myself into each character. I don't want all of my OCs to be just me with the different DLC skin put on. Um, but I do like to kind of put my thumbprint on each of them. Because, I mean, of all the people in the world, I know myself best. So why not, draw from, and not just draw, but pull from what I know. And sometimes it's intentional. More often than not, though, it's unintentional. Um, Stuff that I notice, that I realize as I'm kind of going back and making other developmental passes on the character, not just these characters, but others. Um, just seeing, oh, hey, I included, that part of me in this character. And there's some interesting things that kind of crop up every now and then. Like, there's another story that I'm working on where I see myself a lot actually in the villain for whatever reason, which I find, when I see these things, I don't necessarily pull back and say, "Oh, ugh, that's weird. I don't want to be associated with the villain." I actually kind of enjoy that element has kind of come out in that character, and I don't I definitely don't see myself as a villain, not at all. But it's just cool to watch that developmental process. Anyways, getting back to Blue and Summer. In the last video, I kind of talked about a little bit who they are as princesses. So I guess now, since I'm not drawing them as princesses, that is pre-ascension form, and also humans. I can talk a little bit about who they were before they ascended. Um, Personalities were pretty much exactly the same, just under less stress, especially on Blue's part. But she always had that kind of, gotta look out for my sister thing going on, even if there wasn't gotta look out for my sister and also a kingdom um, hovering over her head. But she always had that, and Summer always had her just adoring looking up to her sister, um, but also being just carefree and a ray of sunshine. Um, as far as what they would have done with their lives if they hadn't become princesses, Summer might have actually ended up pursuing entomology in some way. She loved catching butterflies as a small child, and that probably would have expanded out into the rest of the insect kingdom. Um, Blue would have probably followed in her parents' hoofsteps and pursued cartography, because that's what her parents do. Well, her dad does surveying and her mom does map making cartography. Um, Both for the organizational, the record keeping um, element of cartography, and for the artistic aspect of it. She liked both elements. But anyways, I don't really think about that often just because they were always intended to be princesses. But I guess it's a fun sort of AU hypothetical what if scenario to think about if they somehow hadn't become princesses or if it wasn't their destiny to become princesses. I don't know. Maybe I'll poke at it some more in the future. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm almost to the end of the video here, so I will say thank you to everybody who stopped by and gave this a watch. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!